Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Nyla Simone. For those of you who do not know, for those of you who do, welcome back. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. By today's title, I am going to be telling you guys how to find a vendor. Make sure you grab a pen, a paper, or grab some type of writing device so that you can go ahead and get these tips, because I am dropping some tips and I'm giving you guys one of my vendors that I used before I started to rebrand. They had small knots, great quality hair. They customize wigs so that you don't have to make the wigs for only $15. So make sure you guys tune in the whole video so that you guys know who that vendor is. With finding a vendor, you can find a vendor on Google, on social media like Instagram and YouTube, and you can find a vendor on Alibaba. If you don't know what Alibaba is, it's basically like AliExpress, but it is like, I want to say like a manufacturing, the actual manufacturer for hair. I will go into each individual thing and we'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Before trying to find a vendor, you need to know who your target audience is. If you don't know who your target audience is, you won't necessarily know what type of hair they're looking for. If they want high quality hair or low quality hair. Are they wanting bundles? Are they wanting tape-ins, U-part wigs? So you really need to know what your target audience wants, because if you don't, then you trying to find a vendor is pointless, because it's like, why are you trying to find a vendor that only sells wigs when your target audience likes eye tips or the tape-ins? It's pointless. Even though a lot of hair companies, they're all now specializing in like everything, sometimes you don't get the best quality in certain vendors because they're used to making wigs, or this vendor's used to making eye tips. So just make sure that you know what your target audience wants, because that's going to help you in the long run in finding the perfect vendor for your company. So like I said, there's 3 sources that you can find a vendor. The first one was Google. So you can literally just go on your phone or a computer and you can type in the origin that you want that hair like to be from. So say you want it to be from China or India, go in and look up China vendors, and there'll be a list of like YouTube links and stuff like that. More vendors in India, they have websites now that you can order their hair off of straight from their manufacturer or their factory. I didn't really go that route. I was having trouble like 2 years ago finding vendors through there, but it is definitely reasonable and definitely find your vendor on Google. The next one is Instagram. So this is actually how I found the vendor that I'm going to give you guys. He actually reached out to me on one of my hair pages. There are a lot of vendors that will reach out to you, especially if they see you doing hair, or if you have a hair page already and you establish some type of customer base and people are commenting and you're posting good content, vendors will actually reach out to you. Sometimes I don't respond, but keeping those vendors in my back pocket or just keeping them in my request does help, just in case like my vendor isn't working with me or they ran out of something that I need. You can always go to those other vendors if you've tested them out and try to see what they have to offer. But to do a search on Instagram, all you have to do really is put in hashtag, and then whatever origin or whatever type of hair that you're looking for, just put in, like for an example, raw Indian hair. Sometimes you will see other hair companies in the US like Lux Hair Beauty Company trying to put those hashtags, so trying to promote their hair and get you to buy their hair from that like hair company. But you want to make sure that you're scrolling through the whole hashtag to see if the vendor in that country has actually posted pictures and videos. And when you also go on like the profile and you click, I think it's like more accounts or something like that, there'll be like a list of the same type of accounts that are similar to that vendor. So like if you found a vendor that's raw hair and then you were like, well, I want to look for some more, you can hit that ad account and keep scrolling and seeing different types of hair vendors. So that's really helpful. I've noticed that I found a lot of hair vendors doing that. Like I said before, just make sure that the vendor is legit before actually messaging them. Do your research, really make sure that you know who the vendor is, where they're located, and all that. So many people find their vendors on YouTube as well. So I would say just look up, hair vendors, free hair vendors. This is kind of risky. I feel like finding a hair vendor in general is going to be hard and tricky, just because you want it to be perfect for your target audience. But if you don't want to do the research yourself, there are people on YouTube, there are people giving away their free vendors. Just be mindful that some people may not be truthful, and they may be, you know, trying to just start you in the wrong direction. So just be really mindful of that person before you buy, and consider that person being your vendor or testing out hair. Going on YouTube and looking at reviews of other people's opinions, that would be really helpful for you, because maybe you like the quality of their hair, maybe, you know, you just want a second opinion, and you know, that person has tested the hair actually, and they can show you that they have. I would really go that route, especially if you're a little hesitant on a vendor, or if you don't want to search on, if you're like searching on other platforms and you can't find a vendor, I would really go the YouTube route. So there's another way that you can actually buy a vendor, and that's buying a vendor's list. I bought my first haircut, like my first hair, from a vendor's list. I trusted the girl. She actually was another wig maker at the time, but it was at least, I think I spent $300. Like, it can be very expensive just to get somebody's vendor, so be mindful of that you're spending on somebody's vendor's list, which could be $300, and then you have to test out their hair, which could be up to $300 or more dollars as well. So just be mindful of when you're doing something like that, because sometimes people will try to get over on you and not actually give you their vendor that they're using. So just really make sure the people that you're buying vendors list from, that they are credible, and that they are actually giving you their vendor, because girl, you do not want to get scammed on that. And also just know your budget, because like I said, sometimes vendors lists can go up from like $20 to $300 or even more. And just don't ask people for it for free. Just be mindful of those things. Be mindful of your budget. Be mindful of asking people certain questions when inquiring about their vendors list. And yeah, another place that you can find a vendor is on Alibaba. It's an app. It's just like AliExpress, but it's actually the manufacturers. You can go ahead and just download the app, and then you're gonna search single drawn hair. Usually that's more associated with virgin hair. So Chinese vendors, a lot of Chinese vendors in general are going to pop up on Alibaba. If you want a different origin, to update the I think it's like a filter list. If you want Indian hair, if you want Vietnamese, Cambodian, or whatever the origin is that you want, make sure that you go ahead and update that list. If you're wanting thicker hair, coarser hair, I would type in double drawn hair. Usually that is more associated with raw hair or fuller hair, and you should get more like raw hair options. Another tip is to not get caught up in the whole Brazilian terminology, like the whole grading, like 3A grading system. I remember it confused me a little bit when I was first starting. That whole system is fake. It's just like a sales tactic to get you to spend more money with them. It's just to up their bundles and their pricing. So when you're asking these vendors, just be like, I want the highest quality, or I want the lowest quality, or I just want the mid quality. Make sure that you're very vocal on what type of quality hair that you want. Another thing is, if a vendor is advertising Brazilian hair, it's not real, because how are you going to get Brazilian hair from China? I mean, it doesn't make sense. So don't be all caught up in that terminology, because it's not really true, and it's just a marketing tactic. You could use that marketing tactic, especially if that's what your target audience likes to use. But when finding a vendor, don't get caught up in this is Brazilian hair, because it's not. It's actually Chinese hair. Also, when searching on Alibaba, make sure that there's like factory photos. There's people working. You're seeing videos and stuff like that, because sometimes these vendors will steal other companies' photos and act like as if it was theirs, and it's not theirs. So you just don't want to get too caught up on that and trying to see if it really is their pictures. I say if there's like at least 2 stock photos, I just cross them off the list, because I just know that it's not really their hair and it all looks the same. So I just try to see like different factory photos, if like it's in a different factory, if they're sourcing it from an actual factory, because it just seems more legit. And be mindful, a lot of these hair companies that say that they're hair companies, they are also manufacturing other stuff like medicine and stuff like that. So just be mindful of who the company or who the vendor is. Make sure you do your research. So for the time that you guys have been waiting for, oh well, you guys probably haven't been waiting for it, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys the vendor. It is a virgin Chinese hair vendor. They sell really good hair for an affordable price. I really like working with him. He's very responsive. He's very fast, and He's really, really sweet. His name is Michael. This is the vendor. Go ahead and take a screenshot. But yeah, usually he has a lot of promotions going on with his hair. They also sell like the wig tag, so that you could just give him the like your logo and they'll put it on a wig tag if you want, and they'll customize that for you. So this was the hair that I used that vendor for. Hair was super great, hair was super full. But yeah, that's one of the vendors that I used for my hair business when I was selling wigs at that time. I hope that was helpful. Make sure that you guys do test out these vendors, because what I may like, you may not like, and what somebody else may like, you also may not like. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the post notification bell so that you know whenever I post. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.